On tonight's call, a woman describes her unsettling experiences with a mummy artifact she purchased at an oddities festival. At first, it seemed like just a curious trinket, but soon things began to happen. Unexplainable, eerie moments. Some artifacts are simply wall hangers, but others are covered in mystery and hold something much, much darker.
Paranormal Payphone.
Welcome back to Paranormal Payphone, where we do, in fact, always answer after midnight. I am Steve.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brandon, and I am the advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the beast incarnate, Steve.
Was not expecting that one, you know.
I was hoping to catch you off guard.
You got me.
Yeah, good, because you
got
get
me.
me. In a recent video, you got me really good.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get you. I wanted to say, you give me a good introduction every week. So I wanted to say thank you,
Hey,
buddy.
I appreciate that.
Do you
Thank
like that
you.
one?
I did like that, actually.
I tried to give you a little bit of a hint.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, there you go.
See, when it comes down, I am on record as being an ECW guy. I mean, I love the fact that the old Heyman came into play
Paul
here.
Heyman.
That's right.
I couldn't quite get the pitch and the loudness,
Yeah.
but you got it.
Yeah. I mean, you got better hair.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that helps.
Golly, if he has better hair than you, that's bad.
It's always been rough, too.
It is, yeah.
And the only thing that would have made it better is if you had the old school cell phone. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just, I will say his suit game has gotten better throughout the years, because it used to be bad suits I thought on purpose, but I think it might have been all he can afford. You know, if you watched any of those, Dark Side of the Ring or any of the WWE documentaries about ECW or any of the shoot tapes or anything, those were some interesting times.
Yeah. One of the greatest, though.
Yeah.
He is, and he just keeps getting better. Now, I did try to find a phone.
Yeah.
Because I've had a little time to plan this, but all I could find was a flip phone, and I didn't think that would work as well.
Well, all right. So this is the level of dirtbaggedness that he operated off that I thought was amazing. Is he had his main stars at ECW, right? So
Yep.
you had like Taz and Tommy Dreamer and Sandman and all these guys, right? And so rather than pay them, he gave them roles. Like, you are, I think Bubba Ray Dudley was like the marketing director or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, it's great. You're going to have a role in the company, and then we'll get the profits at the end, fully well knowing that there was no money.
Yeah.
He was never going to pay them.
Quite the dirtbag, right? Yeah.
And it worked. And they're like, everyone's like, this is great. I'm running the wrestling school, and it's like, well, you're never going to get paid. Like,
And for the most part, all these people love him, and they've remained loyal to him.
because like throughout time, it turned out to like, okay, as he like cockroached his way into a new organization or something else happened, like he brought them along with him, and like they got full-fledged, like flourishing careers out of it. But like at the time, he's like, opening up credit cards in their name and maxing them out so they could throw a show.
Just a jerk, dude. Just a jerk. Yeah.
But the thing I love most, like, I grew up in the band world, and so the idea of that is not so dissimilar from like dirtbag promoters that I worked with, where it was like, hey, it's time to settle up at the end of the night. Has anyone seen the promoter? It's like, oh yeah, he got in his mom's Corolla 45 minutes ago and left. It's like, oh, great. That's fantastic.
He did leave you these Red Bulls, though.
Yeah, he did. He did leave these red. They're open.
They're open. And there might be a cigarette in them.
They're open. But split among yourselves. Yeah. Well, tonight we have a phone call, and this is an interesting phone call because it's something that's a little different and a little strange, a little off center from what we've gotten in the past. Last time we took a trip to the old Canada. This time we're going all the way to Egypt.
That's right. An artifact, a relic, a picture of one, anyways. Something haunted in the house, and it's a good story.
It is a good story, and it's so interesting because I've been seeing all this stuff about like estate sales and yard sales, and be careful what you buy. And this is one of those things where you got to be careful.
You never know what you get.
Look before you leap.
That's right.
So let's get into this call.
Let's do it.
Hey there, my name is Mikana, and I guess I'm going to tell my story. So, a little bit about me first. I collect a lot of antiques, and when I say that, I mean a lot of hiking things, but also a lot of weird things. So I have a whole bathroom full of oddities and a Ouija board. I've got a coffin, but in particular in this bathroom, I have a picture of a mummy. And when I purchased this mummy, I was at an oddities festival, and there's all sorts of things there. There's crystals and candles, and you can buy things like coffins and bones and skulls. But when I purchase something, I usually want to feel drawn to it. And when I say that, I mean it almost feels like walking up next to a friend. And I was drawn to this picture of a mummy. And I walked around the festival. I walked around 3 separate times, and every single time I was drawn to this one particular photo. So I did go ahead and purchase it, and I brought it home. And I also purchased a bunch of other pictures. So when I put a mount on each of these photos, I just used Gorilla Glue. Now, I put all these pictures up. Some of them are pretty heavy. This picture in particular was only a 4x6. It's very, very light. And all the pictures seemed to be okay, except for this picture of the mummy. It kept falling down. So, okay, let me reglue it. I put it back up, and it fell back down. And I put a different mount on this picture of the mummy, and I nailed it in. That picture, or that mount, fell down as well. Finally, I cut a big hole in there. I put a nail in the wall, and I put it up like that. And then I saged the house, but I only saged the house after both of my roommates had already told me that some other weird stuff had been happening, and they didn't realize I bought a picture of a real mummy. So one roommate told me that she kept starting to hear noises starting just a couple of days ago when I had purchased it. We couldn't really explain what the noises were. It's not, animals in the house. It's not other people in the house. But she was starting to hear things in either the hallway or the kitchen to where it leads to the bathroom where the mummy is at. And then my other roommate said that she had her Xbox turned on and off all on its own. The remote for it was completely away from her. There was no way that she slept on it and accidentally turned it on or off, but she did have that happen. And then my door to my bedroom had opened on its own. So just a couple of different things happening in the house until I went ahead and saged it, put that hole in it, and the mummy ended up staying in place then. So I was telling one of my friends about this, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe whatever's attached to the mummy doesn't really like the house. And she said, well, you collect a lot of old things. Maybe something has already been in your house and living with you peacefully this whole time for years, and then you bring a picture of a mummy into the house and it doesn't like it, so it started to act up. So I'm not sure either way, but I thought that this was kind of interesting. I still collect old things, and I still have the picture of the mummy. I love it. I think it's real cool. It is an original. But thanks so much for having me.
Okay, Steve. Wild sequence of events here, centered all around the picture.
Yep.
What are your thoughts?
I have a lot of thoughts on this. First off, I want to know if that was her house or if she was renting it, because she talked about using a lot of Gorilla Glue on the walls. That's the first thing. As a dad who's had to repair walls, I'm just like, oh, don't do that. Don't glue pictures to the wall. What are we doing?
Yeah. When she said gluing, I was like, oh, come on, man. That wall has to look horrible. It's beat to death.
If you can't get Gorilla Glue to hold up, that's a strong ghost.
Maybe we set this on the back of the toilet.
Yeah, that ghost got a paranormal pump on him right now.
Amazing.
So it is interesting because we talk about haunted objects and we've talked about stuff like that, and we've seen have different calls where ghosts or different things would be attached to a place, a location. This is something that's attached to a thing, is what it seems like. And so she's obviously at like an oddities flea market. So, I mean, first off, she's going to these places. She knows about this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, her decorating path is not coming from Pier 1. Like, it is clearly like this is her vibe, you know, which is cool.
Yeah.
But she knows where this is. She gets this. And all of a sudden, they start experiencing things throughout the house.
Yeah. There was one detail before that when she was describing it that she said that, oh, I've bought Ouija boards. And so I wonder if maybe some playing around with that opened some kind of door or portal or whatever spiritual opening for something to come through. And then when that picture came in, it used that.
Well, it is interesting because she did, like, one of her friends did talk to her about that.
Yeah.
Like the idea that you've been living with something this entire time.
Right.
And it's only once you brought this in that they had an issue with it.
Yeah.
You
Got
know?
a ghost fight going on.
A little bit of ghost beef,
Yeah.
you know?
Ghost fight.
You know, and in today's political climate, we're not going to talk about who would have beef with the Egyptians from that time. So
No.
we're moving on from that.
Yeah. Next.
So the thing that she tried to put this picture up,
Mhm.
and I believe she said bathroom.
Yeah.
Which is interesting in itself. Like, I like the idea, like the toilet paper in the bathroom, like the
Right.
mummy
It
wrap.
makes sense.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, if I was going to put a picture of a mummy up, yeah,
Yeah,
that'd
right there
probably
by
be-
the toilet where you can see it. You
Yeah.
know? But also maybe this mummy's a little angry that it got stuck in there with all the scents.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was the potpourri.
Yeah, the
really, they
potpourri,
just,
really,
just
yeah.
really threw it off.
I never understood the whole poopery. I get it. It's brilliant marketing,
Yeah.
but
Well, so back in the day, like, did your grandparents have just like potpourri in the bathroom
Yeah.
to cover up the scent?
yeah,
Did nothing.
nothing.
Right? Like, it was just like little pieces of tree bark in like a lace sack that just
Yeah.
sat there. And I was just told not to mess with it. You know, like, that was just one more thing I couldn't touch
Yeah.
for some reason. You know what someone brought up the other day that blew my mind thinking about this? Do you remember like the knitted yarn covers that would be on toilet seats?
Yes.
What were we thinking?
Yeah. How much bacteria is in that?
Well, I was just thinking, you know, I've had a few rough moments in my life.
Have you?
Yeah, where we've, you know, there's been a little, listen, sometimes stuff comes out a little hot, you know, and like next thing you know, you're cleaning the wall and you're just like, what's happening? Can you imagine having knitted yarn on there? Like,
It's just nasty.
what were we doing?
I don't have a clue. I remember my grandparents having those,
Yeah.
and I always thought, man, this is a bad idea. But it's good for you. You talk about coming out hot.
Yeah.
You're a public restroom. You know, it's well documented. Your
Yeah.
public
Yeah.
restroom
Yeah.
use.
Take
So-
that stuff outside the house.
So you might could get away with having one of those at your house.
I might be able to.
yeah.
I do miss like the squishy toilet seats though.
Yeah.
Do you remember those? Those were
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Those
they
were
stick
nice.
to you though.
I'll be honest with you. Sometimes they stick. Yeah, like when you're in public, when you only go in public places, they stick to you pretty regularly. Oh, little Steve Sticky Seat.
Those-
That's what they call me.
Oh, that's good.
So we're here. She's having this thing where it's just being knocked off the wall.
Yeah.
She's tried to put up several different ways, finally broke down to just having to just drill it into the wall.
Yeah.
And now the picture is staying.
Yeah.
But in doing so, her roommates are starting to see things, doors are opening, people are appearing in doorways. She's had these things happen to her in her bedroom.
There's something playing on the Xbox.
Something playing on the Xbox. Listen, hey, can't blame them. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of videos out there where they'll see, like, they'll do paranormal research and they'll what is it, the Xbox something, I'm not a gamer, so I don't know, where it shows like the outline of people in the room with you.
Mm-hmm.
Something here, you could have a
So-
mummy here.
So that is the thing that I have seen is like where it would, when it had like the video bar that would show the people in the room.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I've also seen the Teslas
Oh yeah.
when they can show pedestrians around, like people pull into graveyards and it's just like full of people walking.
Yeah.
that's weird.
Yeah, that's why I don't want a Tesla.
That's it.
That's it.
That's the reason. Such a firm stance to take for over that.
Yeah.
But so she went through a staging process and seemingly got rid of that entire thing.
Yeah.
But to think that there is an item that could have something attached to it.
And you see that a lot in movies, like a lot of haunted, there's always an attachment to something, whether it's an urn, some kind of relic from Egypt or somewhere else, like from a deceased loved one or something. So this is kind of
along those same realms. Now, the thing that I don't know her relation to Brendan Fraser, because that mummy may have personal beef with him. I mean, because here's the thing. I've seen him take out a few in my day, at least 2. We had Mummy 1, Mummy 2, Mummy 3 was the same mummy from the first one.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Mummy 3?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's the best one.
Is it?
It is so good. At one point, a terrible CGI storm of Yetis coming down.
Really?
It's so bad, and they're just blowing them away left and right.
Really?
It's so bad. It is definitely not the best one, but it's the best one.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen any of those all the way through.
Never?
Never.
Oh.
I've caught bits and pieces of the first and second one, but not. And I know that The Rock, his movie, The Scorpion King, is tied to that. Yeah.
That's right. Listen, The Scorpion King and the Mummy franchise are what started Dwayne The Rock Johnson's entire career.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the issue. Maybe this picture had beef with Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
With The Rock.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Maybe he's trying to work his way up to the final boss and just does not want to deal with this anymore.
Do you like that final boss character?
No, it was terrible.
Yeah.
But the good news is we got this mummy rolling around here. Yeah. Now, do you think that this is an attachment to the picture or something going against the picture?
I think it's something with the picture. There's a lot of experts in those fields that say that if there's cursed objects and you take pictures or things out of there, that it will follow too. So like with the picture, this mummy it's supposed to remain untouched. And she said it was a picture of a real mummy, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's something 100% tied to that picture.
That's interesting. I haven't heard about the idea of the picture, something coming along with it, because that's really interesting, really fascinating, because you got stuff like the Annabelle doll that people famously get their picture taken with. So to think that something can follow you from that would be a wild thing to think, right?
Yeah.
Like, is it something that for those that are like more capable of having those types of attachments?
It could be. And it's like, we have all these stories where people are more sensitive to these, traits or whatever you want to call them. But I fully believe that's my thoughts on this story.
Listen, that we're all here for your expert opinion.
My expert analysis,
it's what we want,
Yeah, that's it.
You're wearing a Brock Lesnar t-shirt. Clearly,
yeah,
clearly,
you
are an expert.
I am an expert in a couple of things.
We actually went to the Field Museum up in Chicago last year, and they have a big mummy exhibit, right? And so there are all these mummies that are wrapped up on there in display, right? And my youngest, as we're carrying her through, she looks at us and goes, "I need to see someone's phone." I was like, "Why?" She goes, "I'm calling the cops. There's dead people everywhere."
That's funny.
And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
She goes, "There's dead people all over the place. The cops need to know about this." I was like, "I think they know," but
they know. This whole story kind of reminds me of that scene in or Frozen Empire with Ghostbusters.
Frozen. Are you pulling Frozen Empire Ghostbusters right now?
Yeah. I can't remember.
Hold on.
Yeah,
no.
Go
We're
ahead.
not,
Come on,
we're
give it
not
to me.
skipping past this. Okay.
Yeah.
You've never seen The Mummy all the way through, but you're like, you know what? Frozen Empire.
Did you not like that?
Listen, it was good. It was all right. It was
Better
fine.
than the girl one.
I love the girl one. I'm
Yeah.
on record as loving
Yeah.
the girl one. I'm a supporter. I'm an ally.
Yeah.
Clearly not you, but
Come after me.
but Frozen Empire, please carry on.
No, the guy, I can't remember his name,
Okay.
but he's got that back room with all those ancient relics.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
And, he selling these things.
Yeah.
And there's all these powers and attachments with it. And that's where this ghost or whatever that thing was that was talking to the little dead girl,
Yeah.
that's where it came from.
What is kind of interesting is if you go down the lore of, because there's a lot of people that we talked about, like Disclosure Day coming up, and about how they try to warn us about certain things and let us know about certain things ahead of time. If you go throughout history and a lot of our fiction, whether it be comic books, things like that, these artifacts that are attached with certain powers and certain abilities, I mean, that's a pretty common thing throughout.
Right.
So to think that there's nothing to that,
Yeah. This lady had a picture of something that was supposed to remain unseen for the rest of time.
Yeah.
And so now it's angry that somebody captured its picture. It was unearthed.
Yeah.
And so it's there.
It didn't have its makeup on.
It wasn't ready.
It was not fresh.
Yeah. Fresh cloth.
Fresh cloth.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to it, But when we come to this call and this mummy thing, I think it's about time we wrap it up.
There it is.
There it is. There it is. There it is. There it
Wait
is.
for the applause.
There it is. Oh man, I've been looking forward to that for a while. So we have all this stuff we're talking about Egypt. This isn't the only time that Egypt has been in the news about certain things, right?
No. And actually the whole image that this evil mummies or these haunted things go back to this thing called the Curse of the Pharaoh. Have you ever heard of it?
No, tell me a little bit more about this curse.
Okay. So in 1922, Howard Carter went on this expedition to unearth this tomb, which wound up being the tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun,
Okay.
more commonly known as King Tut.
Okay.
Okay.
Tutankhamun is what I do in those public restrooms. Go ahead.
That's good.
Thank you.
You're
Go
so
ahead.
good, man. But anyway, so they went through excavating this tomb, and this guy had he had a history of going and exhuming different Egyptian artifacts.
All right.
Okay. But he had struck out a couple of times. So he went to his friend, George Herbert of Wells, better known as Lord Carnarvon.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, try to say that.
I'm not going to. Go ahead.
Yeah. So to finance it, he's like, give me one last season, one last episode of this. So they start messing with this thing. It's remained untouched for over 3,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
So they start digging this up. Well, during this process, some weird things start happening.
Okay.
And throughout time, people that were involved in this, there's over 20 deaths related to it. Mysterious.
Okay.
There could be some kind of scientific explanation. Some call it coincidence, other call it accidents, but it's just the mystery around it is
20 deaths isn't a lot of deaths to throw in there. I think, one or two,
right.
You're like, that's a little weird, right? 20
Right.
feels like there's something else at play here, right?
Right.
Okay.
So the most famous one of these deaths was said Lord Carnarvon.
Okay.
So they started this expedition on November 4th, 1922. So in, I think it's March or April of 23, Lord Carnarvon suddenly passed away.
Okay.
They said it was from a mosquito bite. So it was like a blood disease. But there's some mysterious happenings around this. So truth or, fiction, I don't know. I wasn't there.
Okay. You weren't there.
I wasn't there.
So you're on record as saying you were not there.
I was not there. I'm old, but not that old.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So legend has it on this one that when he died, his dog howled and died at the same time. And that the lights in Cairo all went out at this same moment. There's also another story about his canary that got killed by a cobra, which was seen as like a bad omen. I mean,
yeah, killed by cobra should be a bad omen. Yeah.
So there's a lot more deaths that happened in this. So Lord Carnarvon was the biggest one.
All right.
Because he financed it. He was I don't know, whatever makes you a lord over a country in Wales, whatever that is, So
Do you want to get into the geopolitical landscape of the UK right now?
I do not.
Okay, all right, good.
Yeah,
good,
I
good.
do not. But I'm just going to go down some of these causes. Okay.
All right.
So
give me a
there
few.
was a Hugh Evelyn White, who was an Egyptologist who died by suicide in 1924. And the legend says here that he left a note claiming that he was haunted by a curse.
Mhm.
Those details are debated.
All right, unalived for the captions on the clip, but yes, go ahead.
Yes, unalived. I'm sorry. Alleged, all this stuff.
Okay.
But there was another one that was, let's see, how do I put this for the clips? That was offed by his wife. So was shot and killed by his wife.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I don't know what words we can use, what we can.
Well, you can't use ones that make it sound like a mob hit.
Well,
It's
it
like,
could have been. You
made
know?
an arrangement.
Yeah. But there was a lot. Oh boy.
Now, when you talk about Carnarvon, I thought I didn't know that there were mosquitoes in Egypt.
Apparently there were.
That's strange enough to me because they nest and lay their eggs in water and desert.
Right.
So to think that there are mosquitoes in there, that's the biggest shock to me.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of people, over 20 people dead here.
Yeah.
And these are all people from the people that had x-rayed the body, that had opened the tomb, had moved some of these artifacts out. They all had something happen. And so that's where this curse began. Newspapers started putting these headlines out, the curse of the Pharaoh, all these things. And it was just driving hysteria, that you never touch any kind of artifact or anything related to these mummies. So this story is where the mummy came from. And where you see in these movies, like in the Monster Squad, you got the evil mummy.
Monster Squad.
And so, seriously, so 1922, this happened. In the early 1930s is when the original mummy debuted.
Yeah.
And all of those origins go back to this Curse of the Pharaohs.
That's interesting to think that something like that, there has to be something to it, right?
Right.
20 deaths, that's a lot of mosquitoes appearing where there shouldn't
Yeah.
be mosquitoes. That's a big enough mystery for me.
Right.
But
The scientific explanation that we're given is that these things have been locked away. There's mold, there's mold spores, there's dust, there's bacteria that has been locked for thousands of years, and that these people either got it on their skin but like the mosquito thing, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
now I will say, I do know someone that fell into a hole, and you think this is not a great story. Hold on. He fell into a really deep hole.
Oh,
It's getting better.
okay.
He cut himself,
Mhm.
and he ended up in the hospital for 4 months because he did get an infection that they could not trace anywhere.
Really?
Because it was something that was laying dormant underneath that soil. So that explanation tracks a little bit for me. I've seen a little bit of this. I have a little bit of experience to know that it's possible.
Yeah.
But that's like 4. I got another 16, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So if you were to get bit by one of these crazy Egyptian mosquitoes, I'm assuming they're wearing a headpiece and
they're
and
walking.
flying like this. Like I'm assuming that's what's happening.
The Bengals song is playing in the background.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. But and you get bit by this. Is your dog going to howl at midnight as well?
No, my dog's going to be celebrating.
Oh,
He's gonna be
man.
throwing
My
a
dog would be
party.
so happy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Be like, I'm done with this
Yeah,
guy, you
done
know?
with this,
You
yeah.
go Gorilla Glue the picture back up on the wall.
That's right. And move out of here.
And
buddy.
move out.
Yep.
It's crazy to think that something like that is where these legends are born.
Yeah.
But there is something to it. And to this day, there's stuff that we can't truly explain and can't truly understand out of this, right?
Right. They try to put scientific stuff on this,
Mm-hmm.
explanations, say it's coincidence, but there's just a lot there, man.
Yeah.
For it to be, I don't believe in coincidences much. So,
Well,
I
if
think
we
there's
go
something there.
if we go back to stuff like the Annabelle doll that they took on tour, why?
Why? Yeah.
Every city it went into, old plantation homes were randomly bursting into fire. There was a lot, 4 or 5 deaths every time it stopped. There was a lot of stuff that we were able to blame on coincidence as well. But when you look at things that home that had terrible things happen. I mean, it stood standing for a long time without any issues until this came into play.
Why is that doll still around?
I don't know.
Why have we not burned this thing up? Will it like release something?
Matt Rife just bought it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But
You can stay there now.
I did see that. He's letting people stay there.
Yeah.
And he's openly saying, I will not be there.
That's smart on his part.
Hey, for the record, I wouldn't do this,
Yeah.
but I'll rent you a room.
Have at it. Yeah.
But it is wild to think about this stuff, that these, what we call coincidence, could be what started this entire thing off.
Yeah.
You know, I really, when it comes to stuff like that, and it comes to stuff to the caller, like, I do worry about, you know, mental health and how they're dealing with those things, you know. I mean, we all have mummy issues. There it is. There it is. There it is.
Got him.
But no, to have that in your house, I don't know that I could, because you could say it's a coincidence. I've had stuff fall off the walls occasionally.
But 300 times?
300 times.
Where you're super gluing it to the wall?
Listen, if I'm super gluing it to the wall, I've given up on life altogether. Like, at that point, it's over.
Yeah.
But to think that right there, and this is a wild stretch, so hear me out, but that curse, that Pharaoh curse that started in the 20s, could be something that's all the way transcending into the present day with something on this woman's wall.
Yeah. And it's still there.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
She's braver than I am.
Definitely. So if you've ever been wrapped up in some issues with some spooky things, had a few things fall off your wall, we'd love to know about it. We'd love to hear a little bit more about it. If you've had Egyptian artifacts terrorize your home, that's a great story for us, and we want to hear it. And we want to connect these dots, because here's the thing. She had to be thinking that she's losing it for a while, you know? But this is something that could be commonplace with a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
So call 615-431-9003. Hit us up at paranormalpayphone@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on any of our socials, whether that be Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Write us a letter. You know, you could find us lots of different places. But like, comment, subscribe, follow, and let us know those messages. And remember, the more you share, the more this gets out there. And the more this gets out there, the more we can connect these dots together.
That's right. So until next time, who are you going to call?
That's Paranormal Payphone.